Hello my friends, Boomy here once again with another video for you, my xal'atathian brothers and sisters. Hope everyone is doing great. Make sure you hit that subscribe button for more World of Warcraft news. That's right my friends, it is an exciting time to be in World of Warcraft these days. There's so much going on and the future is looking great. But finally something is coming. They announced it a while ago, right? With Twilight, the next expansion after this in the trilogy of the saga that's happening. We are getting, finally, player housing. Remember when we all thought garrisons, that was it, that was gonna do it, but we're like, nah, we're all alone. And we have no one to talk to. We haven't seen anyone in years. Oh. And then we had, before that, we had our own little farm plot in Pandaria, and I'm sitting there talking to friends going, this has gotta be it. This is they're tipping the toe into maybe someday, before kids are completely grown up, player housing. But it's finally coming. It's coming with Twilight, and Blizzard came out in a blue post and gave us a sneak peek into what's going on. And I have to tell you, my friends, not only is Final Fantasy going to be sitting this one out, but so will most of the games that have player housing, SOTOR, all the others. My friends, let's get into it. Let's see how cool this is. So this is going to be awesome. This is behind the scenes, early look stuff. There's some concept art going on here, but also they're giving you an idea and feel of what is going to happen with this player housing. They're operated by different pillars for this game, different segments, different things they're going to go to. They have their own team solely dedicated to player housing. And it's not just going to be, well, in this expansion you're going to get. No, player housing is here to stay for for however long this game is going to go. And we all know after The Last Titan, the story that we're currently in is going to end. And then they're going to start something new, which I'm really excited about. I am very excited about it. We don't know how that's all going to shape up, but I love that player housing. It's permanent, it's evergreen, it's going to stay. So let's get into what they had to say. They said fortifying housing with pillars. When developing such a large new feature, it's useful to start by first defining its pillars. They help the development team get on the same page before we start building, as well as providing a guiding light when making decisions and identifying priorities. It's important to note that while these pillars are broad in scope by their nature, they aren't all encompassing. Just because something isn't mentioned in a pillar doesn't mean it's not important or isn't part of the feature. I think that's a great idea. I love how they're not pigeonholing themselves. They're just giving them a base outline of what they want to do, where they want to see player housing to go, but they're not painting themselves in a corner. They're leaving it open enough for them to be like, okay, we're going to do different pillars here. We're going to do different stuff here. We've heard feedback. We're going to change some things up. I really like that. They're laying out a foundation and they're just going to now start building the walls to it. Things are still an early concept, as you're seeing with some of the screens here. I think it looks cool. Like if you're familiar with Star Wars: The Old Republic or other games with player housing, you can put decos on the walls or decorations. You have different things, and Blizzard has said that yes, we will have this. Will it primarily only be in the store? No, they covered that as well. We're going to get tons of crap from our adventures, and I really like the idea that they're going with decorate and do as you please. It's your house. However you play, this is how your house is going to be. Partying on. I love that, and the RP people should be pooping their pants with excitement on this one. They continue the boundless self-expression. They said their highest priority is to allow players to build a house that shows off their own personal tastes or their warbands, acts as a desired dropback for role-playing, or just allows players to create something in a flight of fancy. The tool set should be easy enough for someone with no 3D experience to be comfortable with and use successfully. But it should also be powerful enough that players can surprise us with their creations or drill down to get to the tiniest details just right. The gamut of decor options spans not just the cultures of Azeroth, but the many expansions of World of Warcraft as well. And they want this to be deeply social. They say World of Warcraft is more fun with other players. Obviously, it's a MMO. And housing should be no different. While players can enjoy housing purely on their own, its systems are designed to add fundamental level to encourage interacting, playing, and progressing with friends, neighbors, guilds, and the wider community in a meaningful way. Now, as I did state, they did go on to say that yes, this is an evergreen addition to the game with its own roadmap reaching across multiple patches and into future expansion. Housing isn't something players should expect to finish, but instead continually look forward to the next housing releases, but be in new content or systems. This is a long-term commitment for us as developers and offers players rewards all along the way. They did say there is an important note, however, even though it's not an explicit pillar, wider adoption is a primary consideration for us as well. Most players should want a house in Azeroth, and if a player wants a house in Azeroth, they can have a house in freaking Azeroth. Furthermore, housing is being designed to scale with the player's interest. If someone wants to spend dozens of hours a week on their house, that's great. Get a life. If they're only interested in coming and going once or twice a month, that's great as well. I love this idea. I love that it's giving you such a breadth, a wide breadth to just do whatever you want. And that is what player housing should always be. It shouldn't always be like tied behind or locked behind these certain things. I'm sure there might be some unlocks, right? Gold sinks here and there, and I guess I'm fine with that. I'm used to that in Star Wars: The Old Republic. But I love that they have done their homework, it seems. It seems that they have gone to these other games with player housing and said, okay, this is cool. What can we add to ours, borrow from this, and what can we make better? And it looks like that is exactly what they're doing. When it comes in for our home, they say, we've seen a lot of discussion and speculation from the community on where players will be able to have houses. We decided early on there would be 2 housing zones available at launch, one for Alliance and one for Horde, with more possible places to live in the future. The Alliance zone takes inspiration from Elwyn Forest with touches of Westfall and Duskwood, which I love that. And the Horde is inspired by Durotar, its coastline, and Azara. There are 2 main reasons for the decision. One, having many housing zones conflicts with the second pillar of designing a feature that is deeply social. In a world where players can live in many different zones, they become increasingly spread out, and even with aggressive sharding, the chance of seeing other players, much less interacting with them, drops quickly. 2, putting it bluntly, zones are a lot of work. We'd much rather do a great job with a small number of zones than do a passable job on a large number, or come up with solutions that take the player out of the world into their own personal instance of a zone. We choose these as the starting points because how iconic they are for their respective factions and how they feel like home to so many players. They said, we're excited for what we'll be able to accomplish with the 2 zones, and we'll be sharing more of what this means in the future. Now guys, yes, they're just starting out with 2 zones, and I think that's totally fine. Why put all your kit and caboodle in one package all at once? That overwhelms the devs, right? Because then they're going to have to start fixing all the bugs and all these different zones everywhere. But starting off with 2 and building the house, no pun intended, slowly, I think is a great idea. It gives them time to really, they know the system, right? They've been creating it, but once it goes live, all kinds of fun things start happening, right? When a new feature goes live. So I love this idea. I think it's great. I think going at a slow pace is awesome, and I'm a big fan of Duskwood, so I can't wait for my neighborhood of 50 odd people to be there, and I can't wait to see them. I love this. This is not the garrisons, right? It might have like a garrison, you pop into your instance, you're like, oh, hello, this is great. Then you literally hear someone knocking on the door, and you go there and like, oh, there's Gershom, there's Wooly, there's other people, there's Medros, all these friends of mine from today and from yonder day. They're there. They want to come play. I love that idea. I think that's great. Now, people have asked, is this going to be a play or pay to win? They said similarly, there have been discussions in the community on whether housing will be pay to play or win or not, along with other conversations around real world money. We've been very aligned in our internal conversations that housing is designed to be primarily player first and not revenue first. Housing will offer hundreds and hundreds of decorations and house customizations via in-game rewards, but will also offer a small number of items in the cash shop as well. This is comparable to how transmogs and pets are currently handled in the game versus the shop. We want to allow players to have as many options as possible for creating their perfect home in Azeroth. And I think that's a great idea. I have no issue with stuff being inside the shop. That's cool. As long as they keep to their promise, right? Far more in the world, far less in the shop. But also at the same time, these devs, right? This new team that's working on this, it needs to make money too, right? They need to have their own budget being filled and their coffers being filled so they can continue going on with the phases, with the housing and the building and into the future. So my beard and I have no problem with this at all. They continue, a home for everyone. As part of our focus on wide adoption, we wanted to ensure that housing is available to everyone. If you want a house, you can have a house. No exorbitant requirements or high purchase costs, no lotteries, and no onerous upkeep. And if your subscription lapses, don't worry, your house doesn't get repossessed, which is a big thing in Final Fantasy from what I've been hearing and seeing. Your houses are also shared amongst your warband, with your different characters being able to come and go as you see fit, so your orc character can hang out in your alliance house without a problem. Housing rewards are also shared across your warband, so you'll be able to use decor collection no matter which character earns it. Furthermore, it's not just warbands that cross factional lines, but friendships as well. So you'll be able to live in or visit your friends' or guildmates' houses and their neighborhoods with minimal restrictions regarding faction. For example, while it's not possible for your human character to buy a house in the Horde zone, your troll character in the same warband can, and then your human can use it as if it were their own. Again, this is a great idea. I love it. I love that they're not going to penalize you for wanting to buy stuff, for buy the house in the zone or whatnot. I think when it does come to player housing, it should be simple. It should be quick. It should be very easy for you to do and not feel like you're breaking the bank to do it, which I think some games just are really horrible at. Star Wars: The Old Republic mainly being one of them, the one I'm most familiar with. It can be very daunting, especially to brand new players. And World of Warcraft is trying to reach out to brand new players, and I think this is another good way of doing so. So again, no issues. They say in conclusion, it says, before we go, we wanted to mention the concept of neighborhoods as a small tease. Houses are organized in roughly 50 plot neighborhoods, letting players live next to each other, work together, and share in the rewards of being part of the neighborhood. Neighborhoods are instant, but crucially also persistent, so your neighbors can be your neighbors for years to come, or until one of you moves. Neighborhoods also come in two flavors. 1. Public neighborhoods, which the game servers are responsible for creating as needed and maintaining. And 2. Private neighborhoods, created by groups or friends or guilds to inhabit, progress, and customize together. So while an individual player can have a house, a community can have a neighborhood. Friends, I think this is awesome. I think this is great. I love the idea of neighborhoods. This is a great compromise to what we got in the garrisons with warlords, and I'm sure we'll have a farming plot, and wanted to be social, right? Because no one, when we had our garrisons, we didn't go to the main cities. Maybe we took a visit every once in a while to go meet Aunt Jane, but otherwise we didn't really go there. Everything we needed was in the garrison. But I love the idea that you will have a community, you'll be able to see people, you'll be able to socialize with your friends, with strangers and whatnot, or with your guildmates. You can have your own private instance. I think that's amazing, and that is awesome. I am excited for this, and I cannot wait. And this will be coming, shortly. I believe this is coming in pre-patch for Twilight, and I believe Twilight's coming in January 2026. So we have some time. They're still baking this in the oven. I'm looking forward to seeing what the decos look like. There's going to be Murlocs everywhere. I mean, it's just going to be a thing. The great thing is if we can just have that robot that's going out there from the Burning Crusade. We all know the sound. You can hear it right now in your head. It's playing right now in my head, and it scares the ever-living F out of me. What, the Fell Reaver, right? It's been a while. That'd be cool if we can have it there, or that's what your doorbell sounds like when someone presses the doorbell. If they have a doorbell. I don't know. Put your comment in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts on this player housing. Do you like this? Do you love what's coming? Do you not like what things you believe they can add? Let me know in the comment section below. Let's keep the conversation going on down there. Make sure you hit that like button, the share button, and that bell notification button. And hey, if you want to get early release for videos for whether it was World of Warcraft, gaming, or SWTOR, and you want to get a monthly podcast, why not think about becoming a member? It might be a thing you might want to do. Come join the growing family. And speaking of growing family, make sure you hit the subscribe button and become part of the family here at boomynation, the freak show YouTube, the black sheep of gaming. And always remember, my friends, to be kind. It's about community. And don't forget to spay and neuter your Murlocs. We'll see you later, my friends. Good day.